Well, a lot of new faces has popped up since I came back from my own self-imposed hiatus from racing. Been back here. Been a couple of months since October of last year, and I've been approached by a lot of newbies, given advice to them as well. But they always had this ultimate question. For me, it's quite easy to answer since I've been with this hobby since 2000. Well, actually, of the year 2000. Tamiya really kicked off here in the Philippines. I think it was 98. Wow, it was more than 2 decades ago. Getting old. Well, anyways, I've been asked this, like, the ultimate question of how do you make it stable and how do you make it fast at the same time. Well, as I've said, back to the basic, back to the core of what's really important. You're not going to be joining this hobby because you just want to, or you feel like you're a racer or a mechanic. It should be both. Well, there's a certain someone that told me that you are the driver, you are the mechanic, and you are also the financer of your own units as well. That stands true. But then again, you can always buy a ready to race unit, and you're good to go. But then again, not all the people you're buying it from are actually winning units. I could claim that all of my units already won something. Partly true, but then again, they're not the same as the original ones that I made. And each race, it's going to be a different story, and at the same time, it's going to be a different experience. Unless you're someone that we know. Anyways, this should be a part one of anything that we can talk. This would be just the basic on how to really start up. Part two of this one should come up, but this would be a journey. Anyways, let's go. Well, to begin with, you should be thinking of a category. There's actually 5 categories within our hobby. There's the box stock, we have the pro stock, we have the soft speed, we have technical, we also have the speed tech. Well, all of these 5 categories, all 5 of them, actually would have their own subcategories, like maybe except for the box stock. Though in pro stock it should be divided only by 2, the FM and the non-FM. Though, anyways, I experienced this one in Cebu. There's actually 3 FM chassis. We have the FMA, which is the newest one. We have the Super FM, which is the most common, and also we have the regular FM. And we have experienced this one in Cebu, where the FMA was actually joined into the non-FM category. Really strange. It's an FM because FMA is still front motor. So we have the technical. The technical is actually divided into a couple of categories as well. We also have the speed tech. The speed tech actually deserves a video of its own. It's actually having like a lot of categories. We have the open, we have the progressive, we have the T-Max. We also have the B-Max. Currently the B-Max. Anyway, after selecting your own category, I would suggest this category. Categorize it. Will you be able to excel on it? Is it for you? Because the number one for your category that you will be going through, is it sustainable for you? This hobby will cost you, will cost you money. For the most cheapest category, it's actually the ProStock. In terms of why it's the cheapest, you can actually assemble a ProStock with a budget at hand of less than 800 pesos. or actually around 1,000 pesos if we include the motor. Though the box stock, you would say is cheaper, though it's for me it's a bit difficult, since you would need, if you're someone or you're a newbie, you would have a hard time tuning your motor. The stock motor is really hard to tune. After choosing your kit, if you have chosen your category, there's several chassis. Master one chassis or two, but I personally would suggest go for mastering just one chassis. We should have several chassis in mind. Let me just bring it up. We have the old chassis like the Type 1, Type 0, the FM. Though I do not suggest you to go for those chassis. They're really not viable, and they don't really have any downtrust. That's why they don't really feature on the anime Super One. Or you can have the TZ and the TZX, and we also have the X chassis, the VS. We can also have the current ones like the AR chassis. They're pretty good, honestly, but they're just really expensive. We also have the VZ chassis, the MS, it's a dual shaft chassis, and the MA, which is also a good chassis. You also have the FMA. I mean the FM and the FMA. Those chassis are pretty good. Anyways, after that, choose your motor. The motors are all available from the torque tune. Well, there's no torque tuned already. We have the torque tune 2, we have the atomic 2, we have the Rev Tuned 2, we have the HyperDash 3, or we also have the Light Dash prior to that. We also have the Power Dash, and I think the Sprint Dash and Ultra Dash. All of these motors, it's really up to you. You can combine them with the right gears, with the right batteries. Now batteries. Well, batteries is important. There's a lot out there, but there's actually some are actually highly recommended, and I would totally agree with it as well. There's actually 2 brands that I could really endorse and could guarantee you without a fail. Though there are I'll also explain the good side and the bad side of both this one. So to start with, we do have the Antelope, that's by Panasonic. If you're able to find an original one from Sanyo, that should be great, and that should save you a lot of money. The reason that you should be at least careful of getting a Sanyo, since it's going to be quite old. Most likely you will be getting them after at least 8 years. It's going to be 8 years old. Moving to the next battery that everybody would recommend, which is Fujitsu. Fujitsu, it's pretty good. It's somewhat cheaper and somewhat more secured than the Antelope. The reason why it's much more secured, since there's not a lot of fakes out there or copies. As for the Antelope, the bad side to it, there's a lot of copies that are not really original. You will really have a headache if you're able to get one that's not original with the price of the original. Of course, nobody wants to be ripped off, that's for sure. Anyways, I'm still using the Antelope personally. My choice would be an Antelope. For the reason it has more stability, and it's actually would last much more longer than Fujitsu. Fujitsu, it's pretty good if you're really after for a high-paced battery, which could have a strong start rather than a consistent one. Though, just maybe a heads up, I don't know if people would agree, the racers or some other experts out there, that if you are using a Fujitsu battery, it's really much more faster. And as for the other brands of batteries, well, it's gonna be a high risk. So far, I have not tried any other brands yet. I've seen some that are using the Chameleon brand. well, a chameleon was actually used before. They're still pretty good, but they're really rare. Though if you're able to see one and if you can get it for a good price, that's, well, that would be a steal for you. That can be sure of. But just check the manufacturer date. If it was manufactured in the last like 5 years, you're good. And inviting everyone as well to join our race. If you're available, you can watch it at the second floor Robinson's Bacolod. It's in the client's side or the wing. It's actually next to Samsung. You've seen in the videos, and let's see there. And if you would like to win like some prizes this month as well, since it's gonna be, we're entering the last week of February. Hopefully we can get at least 100 subscribers. So please share our content and subscribe. And if you like the videos that you're seeing, always click on the like button. That's for free. I'm also giving away items for free. I'm going to be posting on the description below of the possible prizes that we could get this end of the month. So it's going to be a raffle to the subscribers and to those followers on my Instagram. If we're unable to reach our desired subscribers, I'm going to be giving out 3 X chassis to those. Criteria, again, I'll be sharing the criteria as well from our last video. So cheers.